Hello developers, in this video what we're going to learn is how to set up SQLite for Xamarin Forms. And by Xamarin Forms I mean Xamarin Android and Xamarin iOS. And do this like in a quite simple way that you will only need to install one package per platform. So let's start. First, let's create a Xamarin Forms application. And for this, we're going to create iOS and Android application, and it will be net standard, and a blank app is okay. Now that the project is created, let's compile it for first time for it to restore the Nuget packages. Let's see the output window. And it's done. So now that the application is compiled, one of my latest blog posts, lately I've been trying to write instead of creating videos, because somehow it's easier because I can stop in the middle and continue later. With the videos is you either do it in one shot or you don't. So I wrote this post, and the subject of this post is about how to install XPO and SQLite on a Xamarin Forms application. Developer Express published some videos and some source on how to do that actually. And you can find the link to the source in here. This is Developer Express example in GitHub. And also here's the video where they show how Xamarin works on, how XPO works on Xamarin and .NET Core and other platforms. So if you watch their tutorial, then you will see that it's actually working. XPO actually works on Xamarin now, but they don't show you all the stuff that you need to do to make it work. Basically, there are only a few databases that can run locally on iOS and Android. So in their example, they use SQLite, but if you go to the Nuget package manager and try to search for SQLite references, there are hundreds of packages with almost the same name, with different versions. So you don't know which one is the correct SQLite version that you need to set up. So in that case, somehow it's complicated to install the right combination of Nuget packages to make SQLite to run. Because if you want to run it as ORM, SQLite ORM, you need to set up something. If you want to do pure SQLite, it's something different. If you want to use XPO, it's something different also. So to avoid that confusion, because I've been through that through that process of trying to set up an application and have all those problems that you need to figure out which combination of packages is correct, I decided to create my own Nuget package that contained everything that is related to SQLite that is needed to run XPO on Xamarin, iOS, and Android. So without entertaining you more with this idea, what I want to show you is these are the packages needed for each platform. So for Android you need these ones, and for iOS you need these ones in those specific version also. So, and oh, here we're missing one. So to avoid that, all the problem that you need to go reference by reference, I decided to create my own package, as I told you before. And here we have it, is BIT.Sqlite.Android and BIT.Sqlite.iOS. Let's open this. So in here you will see this is the package ID, and it's quite small, but what it does, it sets up all the dependencies necessary for you, so you can like start like really quick instead of having to go package by package and checking the versions and so on. You only download this and you're ready to go. So let's start. Let's go to the studio, let's go to Android and do manage Nuget packages, and here let's do BIT.Sqlite and let's select the Droid version and install it. And here are all the references that you need in your application. So you just accept this and that's it. You're ready to go. Everything is set up for you. And for iOS it's exactly the same. So you just select this one and I need to select the package, the application, sorry. And that's it. Now if you see, it's installed on iOS also. So in iOS there is an additional step you can read here in the blog post, is that in the application class you need to write this line to initialize the component and to avoid the compiler to remove it. To remove the reference, sorry, that's what I meant. So in the application class you put that line in here and there you go. So right now, to finish the video, what we're going to do is we're going to add manage Nuget packages and let's install XPO. In this case I'm going to use the official releases. If you own the license of a Developer Express subscription, like for example Universal or any of the other subscription, you will have access to their private Nuget server. So in that server you can find all the versions of XPO, not only the newest ones that are released for free, but also some of the old ones. So in this case, let's do XPO, and here we have it. And let's install it in all the 3 projects. And I'm not going to install this one because some of these have some problem with one reference to system drawing. So instead of doing doing it with the new version, I'm going to select an old one. This is the one that I found that doesn't have any problems with the system drawing reference. So we're going to go back to 17.2.4. And okay, it works perfectly. So let's rebuild this. And now it will take a little bit longer because there are more references to process. But beside that, it should work fine. So everything's working fine. We're going to close all the windows. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the application class. And in here, I have created some shortcuts. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add an empty class, because usually when you're going to work with XPO and Xamarin, you need some kind of helper that help you create the data layer and help you to initialize the database schema. So for that, they always use a class called XPO helper that is in several of their examples, but since I'm going to use it like quite often, I decided to create a code shortcut for this. So I'm going to delete this class, and the shortcut is, I'm going to write it here first, XXPOH. So the Xamarin XPO helper, Xamarin XPO helper. And now you will have this class. To this class, you only need to pass the connection string and read the instructions in here. If you're going to pass all the assemblies, you just leave it as it is. Otherwise, you will have to change and pass only the persistent class that you want to include in your schema. But this video is not about that, so I'm not going to go that deep into that subject. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to rename this class first. So after this, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the application class. And also have created like 2 or 3 more shortcuts for Xamarin and XPO. I think the other one that we want to use in here is X for Xamarin, C for connection, and then Sqlite, if I recall well. So let's try XC, Sqlite. And I will name the database, and that's it. So this creates basically the connection string that you need for a Xamarin Forms application, because if you have used Xamarin before, you know that this constant will result to a different path on each of the supported platforms. In Android is X path, in iOS is a different type of path, let's call it path Y, and they say that in UWP is path C. So just to show you what the physical path will be, I'm going to write this to the console. Okay, so now we have our connection string, and after this what we need to do is call the XPO helper and pass the connection string. And that's it. So after this, what I need to do is create a persistent object. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an empty class again. Because if you do it from the new item window, it will try to add reference to the .NET Framework version of XPO. So to avoid that, you just add a new class, an empty class, and we call this person. So we delete this, and is, I think, XC the shortcut. That is not mine, is from CodeRush. Actually, one of the built-in shortcuts. This will be person. So we're going to add just one property, XPS name, and that's it. So now that we have done that, we should come here and let's try to create some persons actually. So I'm going to say something like this, to do something like this: var unit of work equals XPO helper, create unit of work. So we have a new unit of work. With that we can create persons, right? So let's do person Jose equals new person, and then we're going to create another person. This will be Claudio equals new person. Then person again. This will be Javier equals new person. And the last will be Pedro. Person Pedro equals new person. Okay, so we have created 4 records. We have not set the name yet, so what we're going to do is, let's do the initializers, name, and I'm going to copy this. Oops, forgot to copy one. Okay, now that we have done that, let's change this to Claudio, Javier, and Pedro. So now we need to do is commit the changes, right? So it will be if unit of work is, or in transaction, I don't remember which one it is. In transaction, we can say unit of work, commit changes. So now we have created like 4 records, I think. Yes, 4 records. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an XP collection. Of person. And we're going to pass unit of work. So this should contain, I'm going to remove the namespace. I don't like when the namespace is too long. So this collection should contain these 4 persons that I have created before. So we're going to do a for each. And for each person, we're going to write the person name in the console. Okay, so basically, this is what a basic Xamarin Forms application will be. If you use XPO, you need to have the helper or do the code yourself. Again, this is not a video about the helper, so I'm not going to go deep into that. So I just wanted to show you that we create the persons here, we commit them to the databases, and then we are able to retrieve it from the database and show the name of the person in the console. So let's run this in Android because I don't want to run it on iOS. I don't have my Mac running right now. So to make the video shorter, I will just do Android, but it should work perfectly the same for both. So let's run this. So everything went well. We were able to commit the values to the database. So in here, just I wanted to show you in the console. Let's see. This is the path where the database is going to be stored. So you need to figure out which path you like. In my case, I like that path. You need to go and check where these constant will resolve on each of your platforms. So that's basically a Xamarin subject. You need to go through that. So what I wanted to prove in this case, that I'm able to retrieve everything that I've saved before. So I created the collection. If we evaluate the collection, well, that might not be possible because in Xamarin sometimes this happens. You cannot evaluate the variables. But I'm going to continue here, so it will write the values to the console. I'm just going to clear the console. See, here are the values, and now I will show the main page. So there is no UI in this application. It's just basically a console project, but I wanted to show you how to set up SQLite. That is quite easy if you do it with the BIT.Sqlite package. And of course, I wanted to prove that it's working fine. So that's everything for this video, and I hope that this information is helpful for you, and see you on the next video.